Joining us now is the former acting Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner, Mark Morgan. Commissioner, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Steve and Lindsay.
So, Mark, as we stated, you were just there. You were in McAllen, Texas, unlike our vice president, who's allegedly managing this crisis that she and Joe Biden created. Tell us what you saw at the border.
Yeah, Steve, look, we saw what the rest of the American people are seeing. Regardless how hard this administration is working overtime to tell us we're not seeing what we're seeing, we saw a crisis. Look, we got to the border. We weren't there but maybe 2 or 3 minutes. We started seeing an influx of unaccompanied minors and families who were there for about an hour. It was a steady stream that didn't stop. Look, and I've seen immigrants illegally enter the border before 2019. Obviously, the difference was back then we were honest with the American people. We called it the crisis that it was, and we were doing everything we could to stop and prevent it. I think what struck me this time is that we were watching something that was preventable. I was watching something this time that our country caused. We provided exhaustive briefings to the Biden administration. We warned them. We said, if you undo everything that they've done, you're going to create skyrocketing numbers, and our facilities are going to be overflowing. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. They just simply ignored the border security experts, and now we have a crisis on our hands.
Yeah, they didn't listen. Interestingly enough, there's new reports from the Washington Times that show that Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said that Customs and Border Protection had submitted a plan to his department asking for the border wall, which obviously President Biden had stopped. That was one of his first initiatives, to stop the building of the wall. But now Mayorkas is saying that he is open to filling gaps on the border wall. I don't know exactly what this means, but it almost feels like here they want the border wall. They see how helpful it was.
Yeah, I'm not getting really excited yet. So we've already seen from this secretary that he'll say one thing to the workforce, and then he'll go out and just lie to the American people. Like he says stuff like our borders are secure and our borders aren't open. Those are just blatant lies. We could spend a whole nother show talking about just those lies. Look, that was in a setting with women from the Immigration Customs Enforcement. And look, at best case, what they're talking about is filling in some gaps that were there, maybe installing some gates that were ready to be installed and were stopped, and maybe letting some of the technology be implemented. But you're not going to see, hundreds of miles of new wall system being built. And this hasn't even been briefed to the president yet, in my understanding.
Right. And Mark, listen, this is not just a crisis involving illegal migrants from Latin America, because recently 2 Yemeni men on the FBI terror watch list were arrested at our southern border. So are there other dangerous people who aren't economic migrants from Latin America who are using the chaos at the border and using the newly empowered cartels to get into the United States?
Steve, absolutely. This is something that's not being discussed enough about right now. Look, it's not, our borders aren't just about vulnerable people looking for a better life. The threats we face at our borders are vast and complex, and that's why borders matter. Look, Border Patrol apprehends people from about 140 different countries annually. And right now, the March numbers for this past March, 171,000 apprehensions. 171,000. Last March, it was 33,000. That's a 418% increase from year to year. So let's debunk it's not seasonal. But what happens is Border Patrol are pulled off the line to provide humanitarian assistance to the families and unaccompanied minors, leaving wide swaths of the border unsecure and unmonitored. And look, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand what happens. Criminal aliens come through, rapists, murderers, pedophiles, and drugs, and including individuals that are on the terrorist screening database as well. That's a fact, and it's happening every single day.
Commissioner, can you talk to us about how much money these cartels are actually making? Because it seems like it's becoming quite a lucrative business for them down there.
Lindsay, I tell you what, it's a great question. And again, it's something that this administration wants to kind of cover up and not talk about. Look, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And this president, with the stroke of a pen, look, I'm not exaggerating. He got rid of all the tools and authorities and policies that we had in place with the stroke of a pen. And what he did was he put the cartels and smuggling organizations back in business. Look, we're looking at anywhere between 1.4 to 2 million this year. You do the math of 5,000 per head, and I'm being conservative, you're looking at a $10 billion industry just on the illegal immigration side alone, not to mention the drugs point in this country.
You know, Mark, and to that point, I want to ask you about literally handing billions of dollars over to some of the most dangerous people in the entire world, the Mexican cartels. Doesn't that have the potential to further destabilize Mexico and to make the situation even worse in terms of migrants wanting to come to the United States?
Steve, you and Lindsay are spot on. Look, all we're doing is just that. We're empowering the cartels. We're making them stronger. By facilitating illegal immigration, that's what's happening. Every single day, they're getting more rich and they're getting more powerful and they're going to get more control of the government of Mexico. That's a fact, and history will prove that to be true.
Wow. Commissioner Mark Morgan, thank you so much for being with us here and giving us some insight into this. We'll have to have you back because obviously we are not hearing from the Biden administration on what's going down there. They've decided to be complicit in that. But thank you for being here with us tonight.
You bet. Thank you.